Hello class, welcome to FNAF Lore 101. I am Professor Stevington, and this was made October 12th to 13th, although I am recording on the 14th. You're probably wondering who I am. Be aware this presentation was very scuffed, okay? It has like 83 slides, so I don't know if we're going to get through all this. We're going to go over every single game, along with every mini game. We're going to have a timeline, and it's going to update throughout the presentation. And then we're going to have a little conclusion. First off, what is FNAF? Five Nights at Freddy's. It's a horror game made by Scott Coffin. A series, in fact. Started in 2014. Mascot horror. You know, they got the mascots. Woo. Those are the main antagonists. Cut back to here. Just had to make sure we were recording. Now, spoilers for FNAF 1 to UCN. Spoilers for some of the Silver Eyes novel trilogy. Very little, but some. So if you want to read that, pause here, come back, go read like 3 books. And there's also talk of all this. You have been warned. Now, these are some important terms to understand. Animatronic. It's a mechanical entertainment robot puppet thing. Endoskeleton. It's an internal skeleton. The ones we will be referencing are metal, mechanism, mechanical, yeah, kind of robotish. And Fazbur Entertainment, it's the company that owns Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Spring locks. They are spring-loaded mechanisms, and they hold metal parts. Now they can push them forward, or they can pull them back. Safe room. It's a room, safe, hidden from security cameras, hidden from the public, and animatronics cannot see these. These are some important events that happen to pay attention for. We will get into what those are later. These are some important locations. You don't need to know them right now. I will show you them. Now, FNAF 1. You play in Freddy Fazbear's Pizza from first game, and you play as Mike Schmidt, a night security guard. Now, you have doors, you can click them, it closes the door, you have lights, it will shine into the hallway, and you have it on both sides. You also have cameras to watch the place, and Phone Guy explains to you how to do your job. Now, tragically, the story is very short because Phone Guy, these are pre-recorded messages, and he actually dies on night 4, very early on. He is a very sad death because he was retiring on that week. It was his week to retire. So, yeah, that's why we're here. Pretty much you got Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and the mysterious yellow bear or golden Freddy. By the way, I've underlined some important robots as we go. I kind of forgot to continue that later, but whatever. And then an extra animatronic is just Endo-01, which is just the endoskeleton that are inside each of these guys, except for him, because he doesn't have one. He's kind of like a ghost. As you can see here, this is the custom night where you customize them, and the recurring thing is they always have a max level of 20 for their AI. Now, here's the lore. I'm gonna get into this. Mike, he is fired on night 7. Even though it's called Five Nights at Freddy's, you can work 2 extra nights. One for overtime, you get like 50 cents. And night 7, you actually get fired because of odor and tampering. If you die on any night, you are stuffed into a Freddy suit. And there's also something called the Bite of 87, where a robot bit off the frontal lobe of someone. They lived though, so that's good. But now, these guys are no longer allowed to walk around during the day, which is why he says that they were never given a night mode. The missing children incident, that is what we, the fans, call it, happened on June 26, 19 whatever. We weren't actually given this date, but I'm placing it here just because in the timeline later on we figure out it probably happened around then. Now, it says in the first one that 2 kids were reported to have been lured into a back room and they have gone missing. Also, someone used a mascot suit, maybe? Now, here, they were threatened to be shut down because there was odor and blood coming out of their eyes. And later on, we see that 5 have gone missing. And the male suspect, who we don't know who it is yet, used a mascot suit. And on the final one, because of all these prior and the fact that they have no more money, no one wants to buy the place, so Freddy's closes years after all this stuff. And now for theories. Number 1, phone guy equals murderer. Debunked. Mike equals murderer, also debunked. We'll get into that later. Foxy causing the bite, unproven. You see, everyone thought that because he had sharper teeth than everyone else. You know, he could just have a better grip on the forehead. MCI children equals classic FNAF 1 robots, proven. Freddy causing the bite, unproven. FNAF 1 taking place in 1993 to 94, highly likely. And here's the timeline. As you can see, it's really short, really... MCI is somewhere around here. I kind of forgot to add it because we don't get a, perfect placement yet. FNAF 2. So, Freddy's is back. You play as Jeremy Fitzgerald. And the robots move around at night, but also day. Yeah, look at that. Now, we've got 2 types of robots, the withered and the toys. This is Toy Bonnie. They look plasticky, and the withered kind of look like these guys, but broken. Yeah. Phone guy, who's alive somehow, teaches you how to do the job again. There are no doors, only a flashlight, vent lights, if you can see that in the corner. Freddy mask you click on that red button, red arrow, cameras, and a music box, which I will explain later. Now, the animatronics, midweek, are said to become aggressive to the staff, and as you can see, there's a lot of them. Got yourself these toy guys. They're basically the toy versions of the main 4, and Mangle, which is just a broken version of the toy of the broken. Yeah, Balloon Boy, the marionette, the withereds. Yeah, Bonnie's missing his face and his arm and his hand, whatever. Shadow Freddy and Shadow Bonnie. Alright, deep lore. So it turns out it actually takes place in 1987 on the paycheck. Also, Phone Guy's alive, so it takes place before number 1. Fredbear's Family Diner is a place, and it was the original location. Now, the police investigation in this location during Phone Guy's phone calls take place, yeah, and it is after a dead children incident, which, yeah, apparently someone used a yellow suit to kill more kids. Then there's a birthday party after night 6, which is why, even though you get paid, Jeremy is moved to the day shift. Then Freddy's closes, the toys are scrapped. As you can see here, Freddy's closes, but Jeremy still moves to the day shift for some reason. I don't know. They're gonna have like one more party. And then Fritz Smith places him for the custom night, aka this thing, where you get like 20, I don't know. And pretty much he's fired for tampering and odor. Now, part 2, we've got I think it's 4 mini games that happen when you get jump scared. They're not when, but like there's a chance. These are 2 of them. First is take cake. Now, pretty much you take cake to children. You play as Freddy, and in the background, the letters are said out loud. SAVEHIM, who is probably this guy. And pretty much you keep them happy. This one's locked outside. Purple car drives up, and this pink guy, pink guy, he gets out. And when he gets out, this little child turns into a crying ghost child. And then the marionette jump scares you. So pretty much, crying child out here equals marionette. Next, we see the give gifts, give life. This kind of takes place after, I think, because the marionette is now moving around. You play as it, and you give. You play as this thing, you give gift boxes to each of the children, but they don't have masks on yet, and nothing happens. It says give gifts, and you give them gifts, nothing happens. You give them life by putting these stuff, and yeah. Also, this guy appears for like 1 frame, and then Golden Freddy attacks you, so these guys are the MCI kids. They were given life by this thing. The 5th kid doesn't have a suit. Also, you know, this guy might have been killed first. I don't know. Anyway, Foxy Go Go Go. Pretty much you play as Foxy, you come out of Foxy's Pirate Cove, you run into this room, and the kids celebrate twice. 3rd time, however, you see this pink man, and they're all dead. This is what the ghost kids look like. And then Withered Foxy screams at you, so pretty much, yeah, Withered Gang equals that, and also this guy probably killed them. Alright, save them. Final important minigame, I think. You play as Withered Freddy, and the marionette says, save them. You follow, and you see a bunch of dead bodies around. Sometimes you will be attacked by Purple Guy, and he says you can't, because it turns out they're all already dead. So even though he wants to save them, you just can't. They're already gone. Alright, theories, because there was a lot of lore in this. Phone Guy being alive means it was proven. Marionette dying first, unproven, kind of debatable now, but back then it wasn't. Marionette dying in Fredbear's, also unproven, or highly unlikely. As you can see, even though it is a smaller area, it doesn't mean this is the only room in the place, because over here there's no doors, and over here there's only 2 rooms. So really, yeah, plus this Freddy and this Freddy have the same color and hat. Jeremy, being the bite victim, it has been unproven and highly likely. This is because he was on the day shift during night 6, or day 6, I guess, and the robots were already mad at the staff. A day later, Freddy's was closed, so yikes. What could have happened? The bite of 87, whoa. Purple Guy, employee, unproven, but highly likely. He has a yellow badge thing, and also it explains why he could, do all that stuff in the, diners and pizza places. Phone Guy equals Purple Guy. It has been debunked later on in the series, but as of now, still a theory. And Pink Guy and Purple Guy being 2 different people, also debunked. See, the 2 colors actually equal to 2 different times. One was when he was younger, and the other is that he's older, if that makes sense. Purple Guy equals a murderer. It has been proven. And Mangle, causing the bite, unproven, but very likely. We'll get into that later. Also, timeline has been updated. Fredbear's has been added to the timeline. Bite of 87, along with FNAF 2, has been added. Yeah, not much. I mean, we know MCI is like around here, and the puppet thing is around here, and so is everything, every minigame, but I didn't want to put it there yet. Alright, FNAF 3. This takes place 30 years after Freddy's. All closed up, you know? Fazbur's Fright, the horror attraction. Yeah, and you play as this unknown person, but don't worry, we'll just get into that later. Phone Dude kind of tells you what to do for a bit before Phone Guy returns from the dead using pre-recorded training tapes from early Freddy's. Now, there are no doors or lights in this thing. There are, however, a door and a vent which are open. You can't close them, but you can use audio lures and really slow vent seals. You can also reboot audio, camera, and ventilation systems, because that's a thing. Or you could just reboot them all at once. I don't know. It's weird. FNAF 3 characters. You got Springtrap, Phantom Freddy, Chica, Foxy, BB, Mangle, and the one and only Puppet. Yeah. Phantoms don't kill you, but Springtrap can, because he's the only real one. Well, that's not necessarily true, but whatever. He's distracted by audio, so audio lures. Yeah. And the Phantoms, while they can't kill you, they make you reboot all of these systems. Phone Dude basically explains that they found the real one, Springtrap, and then Phone Guy, he explains that Springlock suits double as both animatronic and suit for customer immersion. Here we see that animatronics are designed to walk towards sound since early Freddy's, which is why he follows the sound of Balloon Boy's voice. Springlock suits are changed from suit mode to robot mode, and back using a hand crank. People have theorized that it looks like, oh, I don't have a picture of Purple Guy, whatever. It looks like Purple Guy's hand crank. And the robot parts are basically recoiled inside the sides of the suit using the spring locks, which from the beginning, as you if you may not remember, are mechanical, they're mechanisms that pull back and hold back, or like push. They're kind of like spring-loaded, Minecraft pistons. They're kind of like that, but made by springs, and so they hold the robot parts. Now, if you, oh gosh, I dropped my pen. Now, nudging, pressing, and breathing on the spring locks may cause them to loosen. They will cut and impale the wearer, and the robots will then crush you. So we also learn from the phone guide that there's a safe room in every Freddy's location. Invisible to animatronics, hidden from the cameras. It's not a break room, apparently, even though it's like, what do you do there then? And apparently it's a backup safety area. Phone guy says that springlock suits were deemed unfit to be worn because of multiple failures at another restaurant. The classic suits they cannot be worn, so that leads me to believe the classic suits were also springlock suits, which means that the minigames from FNAF 2, like this one, that might have been an actual guy in the suit serving children. We also know that the Spring Bonnie animatronic was moved, and customers are not allowed in the safe room ever. Eventually they were all sealed off because of quote-unquote budget restrictions. And then more mini-games, because there are so many. So you got 5 total end of the night mini-games, where you play as a different classic animatronic, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and you follow this purple Freddy that I don't have in frame, but whatever. He's just Freddy but purple. And he goes into a room, but you can't enter the room. Safe room. When you try to leave, purple guy over here destroys each animatronic. Now, on night 5 you play as a ghost, a solo ghost, and you and 4 ghosts have somehow trapped purple guy in the safe room. And you chase him around the room for like a good 10 to 15 seconds, And then he runs into the spring Bonnie suit. He starts laughing, but then he gets spring locked. You hear this really crunchy sound, and then like red stuff, and as you can see here, the ghosts have faded away. Purple guy equals Springtrap, yeah, woo, who would have thunk? Now, hidden minigames, there's like 6 of them. There are clues inside of the end of the night minigames, so you can access them. You're gonna have to replay the game though, so whatever. Balloon Boy's Air Adventure. Basically, you click on his drawing, and you collect balloons, and you can only collect 7 in the first room. However, if you go to the top left, you can go for the wall, and when you drop down, you end up down here, and you land on balloons in the void. You do some parkour, you find a lonely crying child, and you sort of just, you're like, whoa. Now if you jump off the edge, you will find a room with a final balloon. If you go on the left side of the balloon room, you can get inside. Mangle's Quest, kinda weird. Basically, you do this weird arcade code. You rebuild yourself as Mangle, avoid this guy because he breaks you, and you can exit, or if you get the final balloon in BB Adventure, the wall up here becomes a fake one. You fall down, you find this thing, more balloon parkour, you collect a cake. Alright, Chica's Party. Basically, you just click on these really hard to see shadow cupcakes. They're always on these cameras, and you play as Toy Chica. Now, if you did all the previous stuff, then for the minigames, secrets, then you get like a fake room, fake wall again, do more jumpy, find a crying ghost, and you give them cake. These are getting repetitive. Stage 01 is kind of weird. Basically, you can exit, or you can just run for the walls, and eventually you get through 9 rooms, and then you can give the crying ghost some cake. Now, there's a glitch minigame. On night 5, you can double-click a Shadow Bonnie action figure, and you become him. Now, you can fly and stuff, and you can go to stage 1 to exit, you can teleport between rooms. This purple room is where you start, minus the child. Well, not minus the child, you're kind of stuck in this box. After moving around for a while, you eventually, escape the box, and you can give the child child cake. That is only if you did everything right so far. Alright, happiest day. Basically, you can access this any night. Every time you were giving some child a cake, they somehow appear down here as a ghost, and they have their own little mask. Once you run into the table, after you've done everything, the final kid gets the golden Freddy mask, and then all the children, they disappear, and the masks fall to the ground. Very, very happy because they finally get the birthday party that they never got. Alright, here it just says that Fazbur's Fright burned down to the ground because of wiring, and if you brighten up the image, you can see that Springtrap is alive. Maybe. Yeah. Now there are 2 endings to this. The bad ending. This is just the normal ending. If you get none of the secret minigame stuff. And this is the end, or the good ending. You basically finish all the minigames, and you save the children. Yeah. As you can see, their lights are on, meaning that they're forever still alive, and if you have the lights off, well, they're fine. They're at peace. Theories, finally. Oh my gosh. FNAF 3 taking place in 2023, very likely, because 1993 plus 30 equals 2023. Now, Phantoms are most likely hallucinations, but the marionette actually has its physical body. Fredbear's Family Diner having only 2 animatronics, Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, was proven with Stage 01. And Fredbear equals Golden Freddy. That is pretty much proven now. It's kind of a nice conclusion to the whole series, but as you know, it didn't stay that way. Okay, here's the timeline. Fazbur Entertainment created. Fredbear's Family Diner also created. Child murdered at Freddy's. Then more children murdered at Freddy's. And then children given life by Marionette. Who is this child? Save Them happens. FNAF 2, Bite 87. FNAF 1. Then Springtrap created. 30 years pass. Springtrap. Boogly Woogly. Minigames. Fire. And then Happy Stay. Yeah, that was a great timeline, right? Boom, FNAF 4. As you can see, it's in a bedroom. You play as this child named the Crying Child, but to avoid confusion with the other dead children, we're just gonna say BV. I'll get into why later. There's no more phone guy. You hold the door closed one at a time, use a flashlight to see, and if the whole game mechanic is listening for animatronic breathing. Now you got these 2 main important human characters, BV and the brother. Nightmares. As you can see, it's the original gang, plus Golden Freddy and this weird thing. Plus Trap. This one is Nightmare. This one's Fredbear, not Golden Freddy, but whatever. And for the Halloween DLC, I just thought I'd mention them. You know, we got Balloon Boy, Jack-o'-lantern versions of Chica and Bonnie, Mangle, and the Marionette, or Nightmarion. FNAF 4, Woo, Lore. Pretty much minigames. They take place 5 days until quote-unquote the party. BV has a Fredbear plush that talks to him, and BV's brother bullies him at home, and what appears to be Fredbear's Family Diner. If you go through all the minigames, he locks him in his room, leaves him at Fredbear's alone multiple times, scares him from behind the TV and under his bed, and then he locks him in the supply closet at Fredbear's. Then on his birthday, he and his brother, or he and his friends, put him in Fredbear's mouth. Fredbear crushes his skull. You see, during the day, his mouth goes up and down, up and down, up and down. So when they put the child in, it tried to go down, and then it just broke his skull. Yeah. Deep Lore Part 2. So Night 6, basically, after you're done it all, you get this. He's kind of in a dark void. Fredbear talks to him, and he's like, "Oh, we're your friends. Do you still believe that? Blah, blah, blah." Someone says, "I'll put you back together." And then hospital, flatline. Basically, BV dead. Also, BV equals bite victim. I didn't want to say that earlier because it would have told you about the bite, and then you would have known where this is going, but whatever. It's also notable that this text does not have the same font as normal Fredbear text, Fredbear plush text, so it might be someone else. I don't know. I feel like it was supposed to be the Marionette originally, but whatever. And then Night 7 / Nightmare Mode. Woo. So, pretty much it ends with a box in the dark, and this text, perhaps some things are best left forgotten for now. Now, theories, nightmares are real, proven. Nightmare, the animatronic, is a malfunctioning Nightmare Fredbear, kinda proven. BV equals Golden Freddy, kinda debunked, I don't know. BV is Marionette, it was rebunked, retconned, I think. I feel like he was supposed to be Marionette, and the reason why is the minigame said save him, and we'll get into that later. why it's not that anymore. Now, the brother equals phone guy has been debunked. Purple guy equals BV's dad has been proven. Year equals 1983, proven. This is because of a minigame TV in their house. And the bite of 83, this is proven. You see, frontal lobe does not equal the entire skull, so this can't be the bite of 87. And also, they're on stage. The bite of 87 happened when the robots were walking around during the day. This is the new timeline, so now Fredbear's happens here. Bite of 83 closes it down, and then all the mini games and everything else happens. Or maybe it's the other way around and this happens before that. I don't really know. It doesn't matter. Silver Eyes. So this is a book. It's non-canon. It's an alternate universe set in the mid-1990s, kind of 10 years after the MCI. I'm not going to talk much about this, but here's what you need to know. Henry Emily and William Afton, they're the co-founders of Fazbur Entertainment and the creators of Fredbear's and Freddy's. Now, Charlie/Charlotte is Henry's daughter, so just think Charlie Emily. Boom. Alright, sister location, yeah. So, basically, this takes place in the underground rental shop of this really long name. It happens after Freddy's closes. Kind of free roam. You just sort of go through vents and go through rooms, but you can't really free roam. You're just stuck moving through the room and doing tasks. Now, you play as this robot technician, Eggs Benedict. Hand Unit is an AI assistant and is your guide, and Circus Baby, an animatronic with AI, is also your guide. There's a lot of voice acting and sci-fi themes. As you can see, they can open up their faces now. Yeah, that's not terrifying at all. Here's the characters. So you got Circus Baby, Ballora, Funtime Freddy, Funtime Foxy. Down here you got the Biddy Babs, Mini Renas, Bonbon. You've got Ennard, which I'll show you later, maybe, and Custom Night. These are just like extra stuff. We don't need them. For night 1, you basically just you basically electrocute the robots, and you get them to work. Each night you go home to eat popcorn and watch TV. Night 2, you meet Circus Baby, who helps you survive the Biddy Babs and Ballora. And you have to fix the power, so you have to survive Funtime Freddy. Night 3, you avoid Funtime Foxy, fix Funtime Freddy, but then you are attacked by Funtime Foxy at the end, no matter what you do. Night 4, you've been kidnapped, you're inside of a springlock suit, and you must survive the mini arenas, because, yeah, you also see a scooper thing. Now, the scooper we'll get into later. And then night 5, you send Circus Baby into the scooping room, and you listen to her instruction. Now, the scooper is basically a giant excavator-looking thing, and it basically breaks. It kind of takes it just hits the animatronic until it opens, and then they take the endoskeleton out to repair it. Then they just put it back together. Night 5A. If you listen to her, you end up in the scooping room, and they basically take out your organs. They have combined into a new body, Ennard, and they use your chest and stomach as a human mech cockpit, if that makes sense. That is the weirdest sentence I've ever said. Ennard escapes the rental shop and then goes home to pretending to be you. If you don't listen to her and you run right, you will end up in the private room, which kind of looks like FNAF 1, but no lights and a vent door. And you survive Ennard, you go home with your exotic butters as payment, and after the show ends, Ennard still crawls up to you. So they're still gonna get your skin. You in the springlock suit, here's you in the scooping room before they absolutely murder you. They're behind the window, by the way. Over here is the private room. There's supposed to be 2 doors, but I erased one of them. There's also a vent that you can close. Yeah, so you can close all the doors and the vent. That's cool. And then there is entered inside of your body. Now there's only one minigame, thank goodness, and it's where Circus Baby, you know, shoots cupcakes at you, or at children. Yeah, she just throws them at children, and pretty much, if you do it in a weirdly, oddly specific order, you can give ice cream to a little girl at the beginning of the game, the ice cream you get at the end, and once you do that, she walks up to you, and then, you know, Circus Baby kind of, her stomach opens, and then she just swallows her whole with her ice cream claw. Yeah. Custom night. The nights are non-canon, but the cutscenes are, and every single time you get this one cutscene of a guy walking home, and, you know, his neighbors are waving, everything's fine, but then he looks kind of worse every single day, and eventually he turns green, and then he turns purple, and then he's purple and twitching, and then he, you know, pukes out metal and falls down, and, you know, you hear Circus Baby say, "You won't die," over and over, and then the man just sort of stands back up with glowing eyes. What just happened? I have no idea. Now, custom night continued. So there's a cutscene at the end of Golden Freddy mode, which is the, I guess, 10-20 mode. And pretty much this guy named Michael is speaking to his father. Michael explains that they didn't recognize him and mistook him for his dad. And he says that he's going to, you know, he's been living in shadows. And he's going to come find him, because what else is he going to do? Boom, Fazbur's Fright Easter egg. Springtrap is alive. Woo, he survived the fire. In the beginning of the game, there is also a cutscene of an interview with Mr. Afton. Well, is that guy related to William Afton? Is that guy William Afton himself? Yeah, from the book games. Because it turns out this stuff is owned by Afton Robotics. And each night there's a little girl asking her dad if she can see her. And eventually she says that, you know, she's like, "Oh, well, my dad isn't watching, I'm just gonna go over." These character blueprints, as you can see, they're super hard to find. They just show up sometimes, and they show the animatronics were most likely made to kidnap and murder children. There's also this hand unit sort of keypad in the elevator, and it says Mike on his face, so it's safe to say that we play as Michael from whatever this cutscene is. Now, theories. Mike being purple guy, debunked. Mike being Michael Afton, proven. They mistook him for William, which is why they scooped him and turned him into a purple zombie, which caused him to go into hiding, and now he needs to find his father. That was a lot, but it makes sense. This takes place after Sister Location, and this also takes place after Sister Location. You see, his body slowly decays, he pukes out the metal, and that metal is actually entered. He speaks to his dad, maybe gives him a call or something, but his dad is kind of already in a Springlock suit, so that's why. He's like, where'd he go? Oh no. Mike equals Mike Schmidt, kinda proven. It's pretty much obvious. Afton equals Springtrap / Purple Guy / William Afton, all proven. And the ice cream girl, that makes her Mike's sister. It's a sister location. Yeah, that's the whole pun. And also, her father made, you know, Circus Baby just for her, and if her father is the one who made Circus Baby, that means she is Afton's daughter. Now, SL takes place somewhere after FNAF 1, because who would hire a purple zombie? This is the timeline now. So, after the bite, and the murders and the bite of 87. We don't really know where this little girl dies. We don't know when. Mike was working here. William dies. Mike gets scooped. William, fire, minigames, happy as day. But William survives. I am losing my voice. Alright, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, or FFPS. Pretty much, it's a simulation game. You play as Cake Bear / Golden Freddy. You throw pizzas at children. And that's the whole game. Psych, it actually glitches out because there's a bunch of Shadow Freddys, and it's secretly a real FNAF game. This time, you're the manager, or not manager, the owner of the place. You got 2 big vents, audio lures, and no cameras or doors. Now you got a bunch of characters, rock stars, mediocre melodies, trash in the gang, paper pals, etc. But the main ones you gotta pay attention to are Scrap Baby, Scrap Trap, Molten Freddy, and Lefty. Pretty much every night you order stuff from a catalog, do managerial tasks in a dark office, and then you salvage the broken animatronics from the back alley. Tutorial unit is the narrator for the beginning and each ending, or each ending certificate, and Cassette Man is the main guide for the game. There are also 6 total endings. We're only going to focus on 2 of them, the completion and the lore keeper endings, because they're important to the lore. We don't really need to, I guess we'll also mention the insanity ending, but whatever. Pretty much the player takes the robots from the back alley, makes it to Saturday / night 6, and once night 6 tasks are all done, everything goes dark. Scrap Baby starts talking in the darkness, but then Cassette Man interrupts her, and he's like, "Sorry, Elizabeth, this is all a trap. You guys are gonna die." So he crushes, we see the building and start to burn, the animatronics burn, they get crushed and stuff. Cassette Man hopes for peace for Molten Freddy and, says bye to Afton, really threatening goodbye to. Then he says bye to his daughter, who he explains was super, super kind and all that. And then everyone, including Cassette Man and the player, all burn and they die. And Freddy's is finally closed. William's just dead. It's a sick speech, by the way, can I just say? Cassette Man has a sick speech. It's so cool. So there are 3 important mini games. If you get each and every one of them, you get the lore keeper ending. And pretty much the first one is Security Puppet. It just tells you that the puppet was a security robot to keep kids from leaving without their parents' consent. So that it has a wristband on every child and it matches the color. You have a green one in the minigame, like a green wristband, but the green child never shows up, so yeah. But then you play it like 3 times, the green girl does show up, but you are stuck in the box. You can't get out because these children have blocked you. They pretty much lock the little girl outside and the puppet gets out, but the little girl, disappears into the dark, so the marionette follows the girl outside. The marionette breaks down from the rain because it's not waterproof and lays down beside the girl who is now dead. TLDR, marionette equals this little girl, which is Cassette Man's daughter, because this minigame and the puppet minigame from before is shown during his speech. Kind of confusing. Fruity Maze, you play as a little girl, playing as a little girl, and you collect fruit in a maze. You slowly see dead dogs. The image down here appears if you do some epic gamer moves. Pretty much, that's Spring Bonnie, aka William, and that is one of the missing children, and he basically says, he's not really dead, he's over here, follow me. He kind of tricked her with the promise of her dead dog being not dead. Midnight Motorist. So you kind of drive a purple car down a highway, but you can turn into this cool little secret road. A road leads to this orange guy's house, a local building, and a dirt pile, which kind of looks like a grave. The orange guy has anger towards someone because he went back to that place. Now, if you play all 3 mini games, you get this wonderful image after you save all the kids. Do all this, and you do all this. You see that the 4 missing children: Gabriel, Fritz, Susie, Jeremy. This one is clearly the blonde girl because she is a girl. You've also got the marionette because the marionette is over here, and you've got Golden Freddy, the one that's hidden. Theories. So Cassette Man equals Henry. In the insanity ending, it says HRY223. It's a really long story, but basically it just equals Henry 2023. Charlie is the little girl from the security puppet. She is the puppet. And the insanity ending kind of tells you about like Remnant and all that. But you don't need to know that. Gravestones belong to the MCI kids, proven. Susie is the blonde girl. Now orange guy equals purple guy, kinda proven. The child who snuck out is either Michael or the bite victim, and Midnight Motorist takes place after the security puppet. It's called Later That Night in the game files. It's also raining, just like the puppet minigame, and it's the same purple car that William used to murder her. So, well, to escape the murder site. Now, Elizabeth equals circus/scrap baby. This is proven because of a voice line, so that makes her Elizabeth Afton. Molten Freddy equals Ennard. This is proven because of the insanity ending blueprints having Ballora, Funtime Freddy, and Funtime Foxy listed as a part of Molten Freddy. Molten Freddy equals MCI kids. It's a long story, but basically the original children had their remnant stolen, which are pieces of their like soul juice, and it was put into into the Funtimes, which became Ennard, which became Molten Freddy. So even though the original robots were saved, there's still a piece of them. Yeah. It's shown in the insanity ending as well. We also play as Michael Afton. This is because of Scrap Trap saying like, you may not recognize me, blah blah blah, I'm still here. Basically, we play as Michael and he's saving the children. This is the new timeline. So you've got this/this, which is Charlie, and then you've got William driving home. You've got yourself MCI minigames, the give gifts, give life stuff. You've got yourself Fredbears, which might have taken place at the beginning of the timeline, before all this murder. Doesn't really matter. FNAF 2 stuff. Elizabeth, and then Mike working here. Mike has also been theorized to be Fritz from FNAF 2, but it doesn't matter. Springtrap. Mike is scooped. FNAF 3. FNAF 6. Then the minigames, and then the good ending. Ultimate Custom Night. Finally, we are at the last game. This was basically Custom Night for FNAF 6/FFPS, but it was turned into its own game. This includes 50 animatronics from across the series. Now, 50/20 mode is the max AI setting, plus the 6 extra animatronics that the animatronic DD spawns in, which is a robot from FNAF World, but we don't care about that. Basically, you got yourself some lore cutscenes. Every time you beat a difficulty, right, like a different high score or whatever, you get this intermission. So you got Toy Chica, The High School Years, and Bear of Vengeance. It's kind of like anime, but for FNAF. Pretty much, for Toy Chica's anime, you got Chica. Toy Chica. And she has like a new crush, so she has to have them. She makes an elaborate plan to win them over. And every single time you get a new intermission, you see that the backpack has an item from the previous character from the last intermission. Eventually, she just moves on to go somewhere else. You know, this is kind of symbolism for Afton killing the kids. He lures them with various lies and tactics, and then the items are like them, like their remnant in a way. Bear of Vengeance. Intermission basically has the bear on his quest to get revenge on the fox, because the fox is always doing something to the bear. Each time the bear thinks he has the upper hand, the fox just defeats him in battle, and then the bear just, ends the day sad. The fox, this happens over and over until the fox just leaves and the bear continues to chase him. This is kind of Henry and William symbolism. Henry builds security systems to stop the murders, but William just tampers with them. And eventually the fox just disappears, but the bear chases after him, trying to stop it. It could also represent Mike and his brother, because, Mike wears a foxy mask. Old Man Consequences. This is an Easter egg. He's a character from FNAF World. If you do these specific steps, you get a cutscene where you play as a bear, and you walk up to the thing, and he says this: "Come and sit with me a while. Leave the demon to its demons. Rest your own soul. There is nothing else." Yeah. You as the bear can also go into the lake and drown. And throughout the minigame, it kind of sounds like someone yelling for Mike. Another Easter egg is Toyshink, the one you should not have killed. It's mentioned by the robots during deaf voice lines. That's right, a lot of the characters have voices now. This character created UCN, probably, and it is a previous victim of Williams. This face here kind of appears sometimes, very rarely, and it's actually an edited version of one of Scott's sons, Jason. Now, Fredbear is the Easter egg. This is 50-20mo's ending. Pretty much you get Golden Freddy twitching in the darkness, and he fades away. Now, here's some theories. Yeah. UCN equals HELL. It's kind of debunked now, but I don't really care. Pretty much Toyshink equals Golden Freddy. Proven. And the ending shows that Golden Freddy is, it fades away. So, Golden Freddy was the one who created this. We play as William Afton, proven. This is because a lot of the voice lines are directed towards William Afton, like his character. And OMC equals Henry, kind of unproven, kind of unsure, I don't really know. It's just like a speculation, we don't know who this character is. And then Toy Freddy, being the greatest gamer in all of history. This is confirmed. Now, pretty much, what is the story of Ultimate Custom Night? After Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, Golden Freddy traps William inside of his own personal torture, where Golden Freddy, whoever the ghost is, sends a bunch of robots at Golden Freddy to kill him. Yeah, and over and over again, William will die, and he will try again and again, and even if he wins, does Golden Freddy really let him go? Even though it fades away, we never actually see the ending of William waking up, or William, going into the light. He just fades away, and then we see the menu screen, so we have no idea if William is set free or not. Now here's the timeline. Pretty much all this murder stuff happens. FNAF 6 ends William finally burns. His body is gone. But UCN happens. Pretty much, the children are saved, but Golden Freddy isn't happy, so Golden Freddy's like, I'm gonna make this torture for you, and tortures him. But Old Man Consequences is like, I don't really like that, you know, I wanna, you know, you should just like let your soul be free, let him get punished by whatever, and you go free, you should become free. So they have this happiest day where they get together, they grab a cake, and they celebrate Golden Freddy's birthday, or whatever, happiest day. Like they never got to, and Golden Freddy is set free, which is why UCN ends, and William is finally dead in this timeline. Conclusion. I am single. This was 83 slides of me doing research, crammed into 2 days. Overall, thank you for watching. I don't think you'll see the, you know, post UCN lecture just yet. As you know, I'm in university. I haven't finished Security Breach. I haven't gotten a single ending. I still want to play Ruin. Yeah, and I haven't even read the books, like the Fazbur Fright books, or the Tales of the Pizzaplex, so it will be a long time until you see the next FNAF related lecture.